Okay, I guess this is working. So it's day 18 since I had my procedure. You can see there the scar where they put in the pacemaker, defibrillator, and did the AV ablation. So I just wanted to give an update on how I'm feeling. I'm feeling great. I was supposed not to drive for at least 2 weeks. I drove 8 days after because I had to go see my primary care. Had no issues. I did notice that on day 9, I cleaned the litter box, which the litter box is outside in the catio, and so it was strenuous. Okay. And when I got done, I was breathing very hard. I could feel my heart racing. And I was going to load up the trash and take it down to the dumpster and then drive into town. However, I was feeling, you know what it's like when you put your tongue on a 9-volt battery and you get that zap? It's kind of feeling like that under the left breast, which would be where the heart was. And so I decided not to drive. I didn't know what was going on. I hadn't felt that before. I came inside, sat down to get my breath and relax. And pretty soon it was okay. And finally I figured out what was going on. The pacemaker is set to 80 beats per minute. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. And it will speed up if I'm, active and doing a lot of exertion, but it's going to try to get back to that. Sorry about the shaking. I've got the laptop sitting on my lap. Anyway, it's going to try to get back to that 80 beats per minute. And I figured that's what that little tingling, shocky thing, it wasn't like a shock defibrillator shock at all, because that would probably knock me on my butt. It was just a little tingle, but enough to let me know it was there. I've not had it since. It was just that one time. Now, yesterday, day before was Saturday, I cleaned the litter box out again. I didn't get quite as winded. I did not feel any tingling. No, anything like that. I have noticed that my endurance is better. I don't get nearly as breathless. In fact, the good news is, before the procedure, in fact, the reason I went to the hospital was because when I would try to go to sleep, just drifting off to sleep, I would suddenly wake up just starving for air. And I had tried taking some, it's this, I don't know if this is backwards. Okay, Equate. It's like that Z-Quil, and it has diphenhydramine in it. And I would just take a swig of this, and that would help me relax enough to go to sleep. But it was not working that night, early morning, when I finally called for the ambulance. And in the hospital, when it would happen, before I had my procedure, I asked for oxygen. And that seemed to help. When I first got home, I was experiencing that the same way. And so I got some the Z-Quil with the diphenhydramine, and it helped some. I mean, it was, at first it was so bad, I even called my doctors, my primary care, the 2 cardiologists, to see if I could get oxygen at home, because I was not able to fall asleep. They couldn't. It's a whole big rigmarole to get oxygen for home. And now I'm glad I didn't, because after about day 4 or 5, I could fall asleep even without the diphenhydramine. And I haven't had, which I prefer, because the thing about the ZQuil, which is no different than the NyQuil, I used to take that before they came out with ZQuil, when I couldn't go to sleep. It'll put you to sleep, but only for 4 hours. And then you wake up and you're wide awake. So, now I can go to sleep through the night. Even if I have to wake up in the middle of the night to go to the potty, I can come back and go back to sleep. Could not do that with the diphenhydramine or the ZQuil. So that's the good news. Also, there's been a significant weight loss. Significant for me. Okay? In May of 2024, I had finally reached 80 pounds of weight loss. My highest had been 269. And one day in May of 2024, I hit 187. Now, I don't know what I did after that, but I started gaining weight, and it was like 2 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down. I called it the weight bounce. The 2 pound, 3 pound bounce. I did that for almost a year. At one point, I'd gotten back up to 212. I have Hashimoto's, I have hypothyroidism, I take T3 because I don't convert T4 to T3. So I just take the active hormone. And I was taking between 100 and 125 micrograms, milligrams, whatever, of the T3. My cardio electrophysiologist, the one who did the procedure, when I had seen him prior to the procedure, I had mentioned how much T3 I was taking. When he saw me in the hospital, he mentioned that he had done some research. Now, this is mind-blowing to me. I've never had a cardiologist who would do any research in the thyroid. In fact, I had the first cardiologist I ever saw was back in 2013 when I was first diagnosed with atrial fibrillation. And when I went in they found I had 75 stones in my gallbladder. It was down above the appendix, basically, when it's supposed to be up here. And had 75 stones. They took it out the day after surgery. The cardiologist, this very distinguished, elderly, gray-haired man, came in, stood next to my bed, and said, "Now about the AFib." And I knew exactly what had caused it, because I had no insurance. I had no doctor. I was having to get in natural desiccated thyroid, like Armor, from Turkey, from overseas, Mexico, wherever I could get it. I was treating it by symptoms. So I was taking too much. And I knew that the T4 taking too much was what caused the heart issue. And that dear old doctor, when I said that, I said, "I know exactly what caused it. It was too much T3. "No," and he pointed, "your thyroid's here, your gallbladder's here, and your heart's over here. They have nothing to do with each other." And I looked at that doctor and I said, "Doctor, you need to educate yourself. The thyroid has everything to do with both of them." He looked like I had, peed in his post toasties for breakfast. Anyway, he just looked shocked that I would dare speak to him like that. So my experience in the last 12 years of cardiologists was not the best. I had fired numerous cardiologists. Been fired by one. And so to have this cardio electrophysiologist actually research the impact of T3, the thyroid hormone, on the heart was shocking to me. Amazing. I was flabbergasted. He mentioned it. He thought it might be too high, and maybe that was causing some of the issue. My concern about lowering it was that I'd start to gain weight. Remember, I'd been doing this 2-pound bounce for over a year. And, but when I got home from the hospital, the Monday after, when I redid my weekly, 7-day pill box, I set it up for 75 micrograms of the T3 instead of the 100 or 125, whatever I was taking. And I weigh every morning. Now, I weighed that Tuesday, and it was 206. The very next day, it was 199. I have gone down between a half a pound and a pound every single day since then. As of yesterday, I had lost a total of 17 pounds. I haven't changed the way I'm eating. In fact, because of food allergies and food sensitivities, I'm pretty limited in what I can eat anyway. So I've been eating fettuccine Alfredo with meat and a cookie at night, along with my half Atkins shake in the morning and half in the afternoon. That was pretty much what I eat. And I still lost weight. I'm thrilled. The less weight I'm carrying, the better for my heart. All in all, I feel pretty good. So I just wanted to let you know that tomorrow I go see the cardio electrophysiologist who did the procedure, and then I see Dr. Hamid, who's going to be my ongoing cardiologist. The one thing is, when I saw my primary care a week ago Friday, not this last Friday week, so it'd been 8 days since the procedure. He listened and listened and listened back, He got done and he said, I don't hear any AFib. And when I've been taking my blood pressure, heart rate, I'm not getting any AFib. Now, it may be because the only thing showing up is the actual, what the pacemaker's putting out, the beat there. So I will be really interested to see, when I go see these two doctors tomorrow, if the AFib has disappeared, because having a pacemaker and a defibrillator does not guarantee that the AFib was going to go away. In fact, I had already talked to Dr. Hamid about doing a Watchman so that the danger of stroke due to clotting caused by the AFib would take care of it, would get rid of that danger, that threat. So it'll be interesting. I'll give you an update in a couple days and see how it's going. But for now, I feel great. I have energy. I can walk across the driveway to my neighbors, my landlords. Don't have to stop a couple times halfway in between to get my breath. Yeah. I'm doing laundry. Did laundry. Which is pretty cool because I have to hang it outside. Now, I had to lower the line so that I could hang it up, because I'm not supposed to get the elbow above the shoulder. So I had to lower it so I could hang things up. But had no problem doing that. I've done laundry now twice. Swept yesterday without a problem. Before, when I say swept, I have 2 cats, so I do that, the carpet scrape thing. And before I had the procedure, I could use the carpet scraper, which is about 12 inches wide, scrape it one swath, which is about 12 inches wide by 12 inches long, and I'd be out of breath. I could not continue it. That's why when I got back from the hospital, I actually had to have someone come in and clean for me. But now I can do it by myself. This is a big thing for me. So, day 18, I'm feeling great, got energy. Yeah, everything's good. Y'all take care. Talk to you later. Bye.